Hi friends, so let's start today's analysis. Before we come to the Indian markets, take a slight glimpse of the global markets. Yesterday, there was a splendid session in US. All the three major indexes, including Russell, they all were in green. But the takeaway was Netflix, which we discussed yesterday also that it has given some outstanding numbers. So it closed at all-time high. Also, the other banks are giving good numbers in US, and that's why the rally is continuing after the Trump taking chair. So that's a good part from US, and that's why the handover was pretty decent when the Indian markets were opening today. Now, if we go deep into the broader indexes, or let's say the broader parameters which we as the emerging markets have to track. So the dollar index ticked higher. We were around 107.8 yesterday afternoon, and today we're trading around 108.2. Our rupee also became weaker by around 12 paisa, so that's again was a negative. The only positive which we came from yesterday till today was the crude, which is now trading below $80. So it's around $79 as of now. So that's what a good news which should continue. Actually, it's looking like Trump will not allow the energy prices to go up. That's what he wants in order to keep the inflation down and also to keep an interest rate scenario in such a way that Fed will feel comfortable to decrease the interest rates. And also overall the credit cost goes down if the inflation remains low and the interest rates comes down. That's what he require to make the America great again, which is his mantra. That's again good part. One more thing which happened is that Trump in his Twitter handle had given a very stern warning to Russia that if you don't end up the war or you don't agree for any kind of treaty or any kind of agreement, then he will impose a lot of taxes. So that was a stern statement which US has given. Russia has not responded to that particular thing from Trump, which means Russia is also inclined towards it. Russia does not want to take an US administration now. If you remember, Biden administration, when any statement used to be issued, there was an immediate response from Russian government. But now, when the Trump has taken chair, there is no announcement made with regard to the statement given by Mr. Trump. That means I think Russia is also inclined towards it, and we discussed yesterday also that if there's an agreement between Russia and Ukraine, it will take time. But if it happens, then probably and the sanctions are lifted, then we'll get a lot of crude supply into the international markets. Russia probably can increase around 1 crore barrel per day. That's 10 million barrels per day. That will be a huge surplus. And probably these all things will also reduce the cartel from Saudi Arabia. So that's again a good news. That should continue. And that hopes will keep the oil prices down. So that's one positive. Of course, we are negative in terms of dollar index and also the bond yield, which is now taking over 4.6 again. So we reached up to 4.5, but steadily and slowly it is again taking above 4.5, so it's around 4.6 now. But most of the economists were telling in US that dollar index will touch 120 and the bond yield will touch 5.5. I think those all scenarios are not being forecasted now. They are not looking at reality now, which effectively means the dollar index should settle down here for some time, and rupee should also take a breather now, considering that overall things are settling down after Trump has taken chair. We all know what his intentions are. So I think global markets in that way are settling down into a certain extent, and probably within 1 or 2 days, or let's say this week or probably early next week, all those Trump-related trades will play out, and the market will settle for a global earnings-driven scenario post that. So that's what the global markets look like. In India, of course, we had a good takeaway from the US market. So our IT stocks went for a big rise today. In fact, we had a good rise yesterday as well. Today, they also got charged up due to the numbers from Coforge and Persistent. I think beautiful set of numbers. So again, what is happening is IT overall, the big tech companies are given good results in terms of TCS, Infosys, HCL, even Wipro. And now the mid-cap companies are giving even higher results. So they're giving constant currency growth of around 5 to 6% on quarter-to-quarter basis. On a yearly basis, around 8 to 10%, which is phenomenal, I think. In this kind of a scenario where people were telling that India is not getting business and there's a shift towards AI and all those things, I think mid-cap companies are doing phenomenally well. So this will keep the IT index afloated. They also have a headwind. They also have a tailwind in two forms. One is rupee continuously getting weaker, and also that Trump, whatever deregulations he's making in America, and once he makes his America Good campaign take this theme forwards, I think there'll be a lot of profit for the US companies, and which will actually allow them to do this kind of IT spending, which in turn will help Indian companies to a greater extent. So IT index, as we discussed before, also it will remain afloated. As of now, nothing is looking worrying that there'll be a collapse in the IT companies. It may be some normal profit bookings here and there because the IT index have uh, it's traveled around 40-50% from last 1 year or so. So that might happen, but apart from that, the index is looking pretty good. Other than that, we had results again from Ultratech today. I think decent set of numbers. Although again, YoY basis profit was declined, but the expectation again the expectation results were good, and that's why we saw a thumbs up in the stock price today. That's pretty decent. The another highlight which was today's market was the broader index, which is around 2% higher. Let's say around 1.8% for mid cap, and similar range around for small cap as well. And all the beaten down stocks last 2-3 days, Polycab, your Persistent, your Coforge, probably Dixon, KA Industries. So all these beaten down favorite stocks, they all saw a value buying today, and there was a huge surge. So that's again a good news that all the beaten down favorite stocks are getting some buying from the bottom levels, which will again is kind of creating a bottom for the broader index, because if you start seeing these kind of value buying in all these companies, that means the bottom is restricted and probably will not see something going downwards drastically. The market was reacting to the conference call from HDFC Bank today. It was pretty shaky, negative, positive, negative, positive. Market didn't react too strongly or too weakly on the numbers, but that's fine. Again, that number would actually keep the bottom of the Bank Nifty levels also protected. That's what it's looking like. Although we have to wait for the numbers from ICICI Bank on Saturday and probably on SBI. I think these are two numbers from banking index which are left out, which will set the bar for Bank Nifty, and we'll try to see what's the bottom. We had numbers from HUL. I think that yesterday also I was telling that we have to see how the profit has increased by 500 crores from Q on Q basis. So there was a one-time gain of around 500 crores for HUL. That's why the numbers are looking good. Otherwise, HUL has been giving a very shaky numbers for last 4 or 5 quarters. The volume growth is not there. Yes, he's seeing some kind of profit increase, but that's only because of price increases. So I think HUL, but anyways, HUL, but what I have seen is in last 3-4 quarters, it's not a true resemblance of the FMCG company. So we have to wait and watch how the numbers from Britannia, Marico, Dabur, etc. pans out. We'll wait for that. Although they have given the quarterly updates, which they told that they are seeing around middle single digit kind of a gain in terms of volume growth. So let's see how the numbers pan out. They've also taken the price increases, so let's see how the numbers in terms of profit and margins comes out. Even margins also, there were 0.2 basis cut in HUL from YY basis, so that was not encouraging. But let's see how the numbers from FMCG comes out in the days to come. So today was a Nifty expiry, but we didn't see any fireworks. That was surprising, but that was good because people are really pissed off, seeing all these wild moves downwards, upwards, stop losses being hunted on top levels, bottom levels. So that in that way it was good. At least it was a silent kind of action today. We didn't see too much of wild move. The range was pretty less, around 200 points on the Nifty and around 300 points on the Bank Nifty. So that was good. Uh, Going forwards now, what it looks like, we have to still wait for numbers. I think in terms of global markets, I think we're trying to digest the new scenario which has come from Trump, and I think the markets are digesting very fast. Even the earnings season is getting digested because now the numbers probably 50% of the numbers, 60% of the numbers which the market would have been taking a cue are already there. And by the budget, we'll have another set of numbers. So I think market will digest all those internal earnings number as well. So post that, I think the market will be looking for the budget, how the budget pans out. And of course, on 7th February, the RBI policy meeting, which will set the path for the banking index, and how it exactly, if the rate cuts happen, what is the probably how we're looking at inflation, what are the inflation targets, growth targets. So all those things will start coming in the 7th February policy meeting. Before that, we'll have economic survey, which comes one day before the budget. So let's keep a watch on that as well. So market will be now waiting for these triggers. As of now, it is looking that, see, if you broadly analyze the last 3 4 months. So in October we made a low of around 2350 on Nifty. Let's discuss on Nifty as of now, or probably we'll discuss something on Bank Nifty as well. But let's, for the time being, let's discuss just Nifty. So 23,350 was the low in October. November we were protected. We didn't break the October levels. In December January again we broke the levels. December we broke the levels. So we reached around 250. I think 23,250. Then January again we've broken those levels and we've reached around 22,950. So probably if you see 4 months, the low is around that only 23,000, and that also we have not stayed there. Ultimately, the equilibrium has been formed around 23,200, 2250, which we are trading right now. So we can say that we are still trading on the lower end of the range, which we have done. 24,800 was the high in November, which we made post Maharashtra elections. So I think we don't it's look like we don't want to give up those levels of 23,000 on the Nifty. Probably Bank Nifty also, after hovering up down for various levels, 50,000 in October, around 51,000 in November, then again now at 47,900. I think probably the bottom is made. Why I'm saying is, and we have to wait for just ICSI numbers and SBI numbers to come in. But if those numbers also come in as a decent number, I think the bottom is there around 48,000. That should not be broken, and we can only see things improving from here on. If at all the government capex has started ticking in, we can see a rate cut in RBI policy, and we'll see something from the budget. So these three triggers, if it happens, probably would have seen the bottom, 23,000 or 22,950 on the Nifty and around 48,000 on Bank Nifty. This is what we have been maintaining also from quite some time, and that's how the positions have been made. If you have been buying in this scenario, probably you are still gaining. Uh, I'll still advocate that you keep these lows, the stop loss, and continue with the long positions. Let's see how the market pans out. It's just looking like market is waiting for one more capitulation, especially in Bank Nifty. Yesterday it tried to hit the stop loss of 47,900, came very close, just 200 points above, but somehow the HDFC Bank result came and probably the game of FIS could not happen on that day. Today also, Bank Nifty was not taking any forward lead in that way. So probably yes, this looks like one capitulation is away. But if at all Saturday numbers are good from ICICI Bank, then probably we'll not test those levels of 47,900 until unless there's a global event which happens. Otherwise, from internals, I don't think there will be left any room for any big correction post that. So this is what the scenario looks like. This is how the global things are tied up, and this is how our presently our markets are moving. So we'll keep a close watch on how things are panning out, and probably I'll try to give my analysis as much as possible from my understanding. And we'll continue to meet anyways. Every day we're meeting, and I'm giving my views. So thanks for today. Thank you for watching the video. Thanks.